What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. AROD Locks here, guys. We are going over the college football playoff. It's here. It's finally time. This year we got a 12-team spread, 12-team bracket. The last few years, since 2014, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm having a brain fart. 2014 is when we actually got a college football playoff. They did away with the BCS, picking the top 2 teams. We got 4 teams, and it was a pretty good system, but a lot of teams missed out on a chance that were deserving to compete for a national championship. Now that we have 12 teams, we've got 12 good, solid teams that can compete for this national championship. And if you can't make it in the top 12, then you don't deserve to be in the conversation. I feel for you, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Miami. Y'all could be in this playoff bracket, but we have a 12-team bracket. There is no reason you can't get in the top 12 if you want to solidify your spot. These 12 teams deserve it. These 12 teams are going to go at it. I do think there's a couple, I would say, teams in here that are a little bit less deserving than others, but for the most part, we have the 12 best teams. We're going to be going over the bracket itself. I'm going to give you guys what I think is going to happen, just my picks for straight-up winners right here. This is not my betting research. You guys, if you follow my channel, you know we do a lot of sports betting stuff on here. I go deep into researching the bets, studying the lines, looking at where the money's at, looking at where we can get an advantage, whether it's positive expected value or just line movement in general, finding ways for us to win bets, and that's what we're doing on this channel. But for this, I'm just going to talk about the college football bracket. We're going to talk about who we got, what's going to happen in my opinion, and then after we talk about this actual bracket, I will show you guys the opening lines, what it's looking like right now, where the money is starting to go at the beginning of the college football playoff betting. And we'll just talk about the sports bets, the main sports betting lines. Excuse me, stumbled over my words again right there. But let's get into it, guys. Here's your college football playoff bracket. You see it up on the screen right here. We got number 12 Clemson versus number 5 Texas, number 9 Tennessee versus number 8 Ohio State, number 11 SMU versus number 6 Penn State, and number 10 Indiana versus number 7 Notre Dame. That's your first round games. These are taking place on Friday, December 20th and Saturday, December 21st. So next weekend, right now I'm recording this on Monday, December 9th. So we got all this week. We got Army-Navy this weekend, and then next weekend we got college football playoffs starting. Let's talk about this 12-5 game right here at the top of the screen. Clemson versus Texas. What do you guys think is going to happen here? A lot of people are saying this is going to be a blowout. Texas right now, if I remember right, is favored by 11 points. They got 11 points on Texas. That's a big spread for a playoff game. I know college football can have blowouts more than NFL does, but I just don't see Texas blowing Clemson out like that. Dabble is not going to get embarrassed in the playoffs. I just cannot see it happening. I do think Texas is going to win this game. Texas is a better football team. They've showed that throughout the season. They did lose twice to Georgia, but they were right there going toe-to-toe with them in the overtime, and Texas actually dominated that game. If you look back at the tape, they ran up and down the field. Not ran. I shouldn't say ran because they sucked at running the ball. That's why they ultimately lost. But they moved the ball up and down the field against Georgia. They just couldn't finish with points. And that's a problem. Yes, it is a problem. But they show that they can move the ball on anybody. Georgia's got a damn good defense. I don't think Clemson's got enough for Texas. I just don't think that they're it this year. But Dabble is a great coach. He's going to have those guys motivated. He's going to have a good game plan. Going against Steve Sarkisian, another great coach in college football. I just think Texas wins this one. They move on to face Arizona State in the quarterfinals there. Tennessee, Ohio State, I'm going to tell you guys there is an upset that's going to happen in this college football playoffs first round, and it's Tennessee beating Ohio State. Ohio State was, yes, before I even say this, I'm going to just preface this with, it was a rivalry game. Those are tough, but their outing against Michigan was absolute trash. To lose to a Michigan team that's down this year, Ohio State had hopes of winning the Big Ten, hopes of getting a first-round bye. It's always hope in Ohio State ever since they won the Natty back in 2014, the initial college football playoff. But I don't think they're ready to make a run this year. They have probably the best offensive roster in the country, the best freshman in the country. I think Jeremiah Smith might be the best receiver in the country, and he's only a freshman. But Will Howard doesn't do it. He doesn't do it for me. Tennessee's going to go in there and beat Ohio State at the Horseshoe. You heard it here first. Tennessee's going to win that game. I'm going to look at the spread and everything, but I just think, gut feeling, looking at tape, watching these two teams play all season, Tennessee's going to win that football game. What do you guys think? Am I dead wrong here? Yes, say it's biased. You guys know I hate Ohio State with a passion, but I just don't see it this year from Ohio State. At the beginning of the year, I picked them to win it all. I had said that they were the best team in the country, and they're going to show it, even though I hate them with a passion. But they haven't done it. They've played down this year compared to what I thought they were going to do. So I think Tennessee's going to win that game. They're going to move on to face Oregon. SMU, Penn State. SMU, you had a great run. Great run. I know you play in the ACC. It's not the best conference out there, but they were a little bit better this year than they were last year. Last year, the ACC was absolutely awful. That's why Florida State didn't get in the playoff because of their competition there. SMU, I think, loses to Penn State. I do think they put up a good fight, but ultimately SMU cannot handle Penn State. Big Ten football has just been great this year. Penn State moves on to play Boise State in the quarterfinal. Then down here, Indiana, Notre Dame. This one is going to be interesting. In-state game here, somewhat of a rivalry game. Notre Dame, all year people have said, are they for real? Are they not? They're an independent. They don't play a conference schedule. Who is Notre Dame? I think they're a damn good football team, and I think they beat Indiana here. Notre Dame moves on to play Georgia in the quarterfinal. So you got Texas, Arizona State up here. This is one of those ones where at the beginning of the video I said, do they really deserve to be in the play? There's a team that might not deserve to be in this playoff. And for me, that team is Arizona State. I just don't think the Big 12 had it this year. Probably the worst Big 12 we've seen in my lifetime, at least. So 34 years of Big 12 football, Big 8 back in the day. I don't think I've seen a worse Big 12. You had Arizona State end up winning that conference, and I just don't think that conference can compete with anybody else in the country. Arizona State gets rolled by Texas in the quarterfinals. Texas really losing to Georgia, it sucked, but it actually put them in a good spot to make a run at this thing. They got Clemson to start it off, which isn't the best team this year, but they have a great coach, and they do have athletes. And then they get Arizona State in the second round if they beat Clemson, which I think they will, and Arizona State, I think, gets rolled by Texas. Then you got Oregon and Tennessee. This one is I think would be a damn good game. Tennessee's a good football team, and even if Ohio State wins, Oregon-Ohio State was one of the most entertaining games of the season this year. That game came down to the wire. You guys saw the Will Howard slide. Everybody was mad at him. So that game would be incredible as well. Tennessee-Oregon, I think, would go down to the wire. Oregon's too good. They're not losing in the quarterfinals. They beat Tennessee. They move on to play Texas in the semifinals. Then Boise State, Penn State. This one's interesting to me because Penn State, I think, is the better team all around. Better athletes. I don't know about better coach. Franklin just can't win big games. I just don't see a way Boise State beats them, but my gut feeling says Boise's going to make some noise in this playoffs, and they're going to beat somebody, whether it's Penn State or SMU. That's my gut feeling. I don't see how Penn State drops a game to a Mountain West team, but Boise did play a decent schedule this year. I mean, we're just looking at the Heisman race in general. Ashton Jeanty, Travis Hunter, everybody says Travis Hunter should win it because he plays the most snaps anybody's ever played. It's a bunch of crap. And Jeanty didn't play anybody. Well, Ashton Jeanty played more ranked teams than Travis Hunter did. And Travis Hunter played in the Big 12. So that shows you one thing about the Big 12, that they weren't that great. But shows you another thing, that Boise didn't have a cake schedule. They did play Oregon, and Ashton Jeanty had a damn good game, one of his best of the season. Ran for 3 tutties, 192 yards, I believe. So Boise can hang with these big dogs. My gut feeling is telling me that they're going to pull out a win in this playoff and be the quote-unquote Cinderella. Boise beats Penn State. They move on to the semifinals. And then Georgia's just too good, guys. I appreciate Notre Dame. I love the tradition, the history with Notre Dame and the season that they're having. But I think ultimately Georgia wins that game if Carson Beck is not playing. If Carson Beck is playing, Notre Dame's got a chance. If it's not Carson Beck and we get Gunnar Stockton, I think Georgia beats Notre Dame. Yes, hot take right there. I think Georgia is better with Gunnar Stockton in there. Georgia moves on to the semifinals. Georgia versus Boise State. Boise, you did your thing. You had a good win, but Georgia's too good. They're making it back to the Natty. Going to have another shot at another national championship. And then up here, Texas versus Oregon. That one is so damn hard to pick. I think that would be an incredible matchup. You got Oregon's high-powered offense versus the number one defense in the country in Texas. They both are just national title contenders, flat out legit. But I got to pick one, and if I got to pick one, I'm going with Texas. I think they just have too good of a defense, and they're going to shut down that Oregon offense. And then on the other side, we saw what Genty did running against Oregon. Texas is a run-first team. It's a sneaky run-first team. A lot of people think Texas is a pass-first team. They're not. They run the ball more than they throw the ball. Last year, nobody would know it, but they're one of the only teams that had more rushing yards than Michigan. They had a better running offense than Michigan, and that's what Michigan was known for. But they're sneaky about it. Nobody knows that. So I think Texas runs the ball well against Oregon. They move on to face off against Georgia again. It's incredibly hard to beat a team 3 times. Texas wins the Natty, beats Georgia. You heard it here first. I'm putting money on Texas as a future bet. I'm not going to put a ton on it because it's hard to pick a winner out of a bracket like this, but I will throw a little bit down on Texas. Now, let's look at the betting lines, guys. This is kind of what you guys want to get into. For the most part, I think watching this, I just wanted to give you guys my breakdown of the bracket and tell you what I think is going to happen. You guys let me know in the comments down here what you think is going to happen. But here, let's look at this first game, Indiana versus Notre Dame. Right now, the learning algorithm here shows 31-21 Notre Dame beating Indiana. Let's dive into it a little bit more. Right now, the line is opening up at 7.5. You got Irish minus 7.5. Hoosiers plus 7.5. Minus 114 odds for the Hoosiers to cover. Minus 106 for Notre Dame to cover. Looking down here, there is no public betting money info at this point. We still got 2 weeks. These lines just opened up. So don't place your bets yet. Look into this a little bit. Watch where the money's going. Watch where the line's moving. I may throw like a half a unit on these opening lines just based on what I think is going to happen. Not necessarily a super educated bet, but just kind of my gut feeling on things. That's why I said a half a unit, just kind of for fun on these opening lines before anything changes. But looking at the money line, you got Indiana plus 232, Notre Dame minus 288. A lot of people think the Irish are going to win this game. You already heard me say it. I think Notre Dame is too much for Indiana. Indiana had a good run. They did play a Big Ten schedule, and the Big Ten was legit this year. They had a damn good conference, but I just think Notre Dame's going to be too much for them. So I'm going to say Notre Dame covers this one. And then the over-under opened up at 53.5. It's already dropping. Already came down to 50.5. So although the public money isn't showing right here, this right here will kind of show you what the sharps are doing. That line's dropping. Everybody knows that public loves the over. So if this is dropping 3.5 points, when the public dispersion here on the bets, percent of the bets and percent of money comes out, if they are hammering the over, as soon as we see this, if public is hammering the over and this is dropping, hit that under. I'm telling you right now, hit that under if the line is moving down and the public comes out and all the money's on the over. That's definitely inverse line movement. That would be a good bet right there. Let's move into the next game, guys. Let me go back here, scroll down. Sorry, they put them in the middle, so I have to scroll down every time. I apologize. But let's find it here. There we go. SMU Penn State. Line open up at 8.5. You got Penn State minus 8.5, SMU plus 8.5. Pretty big spread here. I do think Big Ten football is just better than ACC football this year. SMU had a great run. The transfer portal's working for them. SMU hit it hard, and they found themselves in the playoffs. But I do think Penn State's a better football team. Me personally, I think they're going to win this football game. Again, public percentage on bets and money is not updated yet here according to Sportline. Algorithm, this is a learning algorithm, learns throughout the year on how teams work, how they're doing as far as record goes, what they're doing in the passing game, in the run game, on the defense. It's a learning algorithm. So these are more accurate as the season goes on. This is predicting 36-24. Penn State wins this game, leading us into the money line. SMU plus 255, Penn State minus 322. Penn State's a heavy favorite here. Just like I said it, guys, I think Penn State's going to win this football game. If you're an SMU fan, it was a great run. Honestly, I hope SMU wins. I'm not a Penn State fan or an SMU fan, but I would like to see some underdogs make some noise here. Kind of give the playoff committee something to think about next year when they're putting these teams in. But looking at the over-under now, opened up at 52.5. It's moved up 1 point. It's now sitting at 53.5. I think that's just because of the electric offense that both of these teams have. Drew Aller, great the entire season. Had a down game against Ohio State, but other than that, kid's been great. I do think Penn State's offense is ready to score some points against SMU, and SMU's offense is damn good as well. They're going to put up some points, even with Penn State's good defense. When this public betting comes out, I believe it's probably going to be on the over. Looking at it right here, it's looking like the Sharps are hitting the over as well on this one at 52.5 because it did move up. Let's move on, guys. Next game here, it's going to be Texas versus Clemson. Algorithm here is showing a blowout, 34-17. I was a little bit wrong. I thought it was up to 11 on the spread here. It might be on one book. I swear I saw that earlier today that Texas was minus 11. But right here you're getting at 10.5. Clemson plus 10.5. Odds on Texas to cover are minus 121. Clemson minus 104. So not only are we getting a huge spread at 10.5 points, but we're also getting the books telling us that it's more likely that Texas covers that giant spread than Clemson to cover that spread. So huge favorite for Texas here. They drew a damn good side of the bracket to make a run at this thing, like I said earlier. Again, public bet percentage, public money percentage is not out yet, but there's your spread. Has not moved yet. Odds have changed just slightly. Minus 110 for it was opened up at minus 110 for Clemson to cover this, minus 110 for Texas. Now the odds are shifting towards Texas to cover this. So the odds are moving, but the line itself is not moving yet. Looking at the money line, Clemson plus 326 here. Texas minus 417. Like I said, huge favorite here for Texas. That one, I just expect the Longhorns to win. Dabble is not going to get embarrassed, I don't think, but Texas is going to win this game. Then the over-under here opened up at 53.5. It's dropped 2 points down to 51.5. So same thing like I said for that Indiana-Notre Dame game. If this right here is heavy on the over, smash that under because the line's moving down. So if the money's on the over and the line's moving down, that's inverse line movement. That tells you exactly where the Sharps are betting. Trust the Sharps on that one. Take the under. Not yet, but if that happens, take the under. Now we're going to move into the Tennessee versus Ohio State game. Line opened up at 7.5. You got Tennessee plus 7.5. Ohio State minus 7.5. As you can see right here, that learning algorithm I told you guys about, 27-25. They're saying that's predicting this is only a 2-point game. Line's at 7.5. That's a big discrepancy right there to keep an eye on. Again, public bet percentage, public money percentage is not available for this game either. I imagine that's going to start showing up at the end of the week. Give it some time. Get some time to let the bets start flowing in, and then we'll see where it's at. Looking at the money line here, Tennessee plus 217, Ohio State minus 270. This right here I think is going to be a damn good bet. Tennessee plus 217. You're getting plus 217 odds on a team that is being projected to only lose by 2. The spread, if you don't trust the money line right there, I think Tennessee on the spread is a damn good bet right there. Tennessee is a really good football team this year. Ohio State, also a really good football team, but not as good as a lot of people are giving them credit for. Just because it's Ohio State and they have that tradition of always being good, I think people are favoring them a little bit too much than what they deserve. Then on the over-under, opened up at 47.5, sitting at 47 right now. It came down just a half a point. Not a lot of line movement yet, but again, watch this money as it comes in, see where it's at, and see where that line moves and adjusts to. There's your bets, guys. That's your betting info so far on the opening lines for the opening round of the college football playoff. I think it's going to be a hell of a time watching this 12-team playoff. We've been waiting for this for years. We've been waiting for a March Madness style bracket in college football, and we finally got it. Buckle up, guys. It's going to be a hell of a time. But that's all I got for you. Thank you so much for watching this channel. If you like what I'm doing, if you watch my channel, I appreciate you, every single one of you, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate any support I can get. If you're new to this channel, you haven't seen my stuff, you like what I'm doing, this is kind of what I do for the big games. I go over the spread, money line, over, under, give you where the bets or the spreads are. Sorry, give you where the lines are, and then go down here and I show you guys the public betting percentage, public money percentage, and kind of just give you all the information you need to make educated bets on the big games like Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and some other games in between, and that's in the NFL, and then all the big games in the college football. I try to do as many of these videos as I can to give you guys this betting info, and then typically I'll give you some player props at the end of the video that I really like. Haven't looked into player props yet. This is just kind of a start on the college football playoff. Get this info out there where the lines opened up at, so you guys have it. If you like what I'm doing here, hit that subscribe button, join our community, hit that notification bell if you want my videos sent straight to you, notify you on your YouTube app when I upload a video. But thank you so much for watching. Seriously, I appreciate all you guys. Smash that like button for me, boost this algorithm, send it out to more people so more people can get in on our community. Comment, let me know what you guys think. Who's winning the college football playoff? I'll see y'all next time.